Hello and welcome to Wrestle Talk with the Rabid Beaver. Today we're going to be talking about our favorite subject, none other than Championship One Wrestling. And today we have a great show for you. None other than the Professor of Pain himself, the Demented Dalton Blake, will be here, but also his manager, the Ravishing Reed, will be here as well. Followed by none other than the HBIC herself, Miss Danielle Gray, will be joining us today. So a great show we have planned for each and every one of you. And guys, I'm going to tell you right now, Championship One Wrestling has lots of awesome stuff planned for this week. And I've got to tell you right now, they're located right there, as you saw on the screen, 130 McDonald School Road, McDonald, Tennessee. Their bell time is always going to be 8 p.m. The doors are going to be opening at 7 p.m. Every Saturday is when their show is. Just so you know, guys, it's going to be $8 at the door. They do accept Cash App. So if you guys get there and you don't have the cash on you, but you can Cash App them, they'll take it directly from you. If you're using a card to get into the show, it's going to be $8.50. There's a 50-cent surcharge on that to go through it. So, but besides that, man, it's a great show. Family friendly, absolutely 100% family friendly. Definitely keep your extracurriculars at home. All your drugs and alcohol got to stay there. If you're caught with it on Championship One Wrestling property, you'll not only be escorted off the property, but trespassed from the property. We don't want that to happen. Nobody at Championship One Wrestling wants that to happen, but we want you guys to have a great time and a great show. And without further ado, I believe my first guest is here, none other than the man himself, the Ravishing Reed. Ravishing Reed, how are you doing this evening?
Well, Joseph D. Hughes, I am wonderful this evening. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. My first guest right here, Ravishing Reed, is the newly crowned manager of the most dangerous man in Championship One Wrestling, the man with more money than King Midas and all his gold and all his glory, the Professor of Pain, the Demented Dalton Blake. First of all, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be here, Ravishing Reed. I know that you've been taking a break from breaking heart since day one, as it's seen right there on the bottom of the podcast. But I've got to ask you, sir, for all this time that you've been with him, do you think Dalton Blake is using you in a larger game of chess or to get more attention, or is it a choice out of pity that he chose you to be his manager?
Pity? If Dalton had picked you, that would have been pity. Now, for attention,
That
of course he's going to get more attention, especially with me. I'm always the best dressed man in the room and have all of the ladies' attention. And
mm,
yes, I do believe we are playing a game of chess, but a complex game of 3D chess. And both of us are making the
complex,
same moves together. A very
the same moves
complex game
together.
of 3D chess. Same moves together.
Uh,
And we
Well,
are not going to give out our strategy.
I'm glad that you mentioned that you think that you're playing a game of chess, because as the first two matches with you and Dalton Blake by Dalton Blake's side, of course, have ended, do you think Dalton is more lethal with someone like you in his corner?
No doubt. None whatsoever. Someone like myself in Dalton's corner, someone who has Dalton's back. Let, let me ask you something, Joseph D. Hughes. If all Dalton has to do is focus on his match and not worry about what's going on outside of the ring, does that not make Dalton more lethal?
Yes and no. So in a way, it will make him more lethal because he doesn't have to worry about the crowd that's behind him. You're taking all the heat from the crowd from him. In a way, that's a good thing, but in a way, it's also a bad thing because that crowd gives you signals on what you need to do, when you need to do, how you need to do it, and where you need to do it. And if you're not listening to that crowd, you're not listening for the pop that's coming from that crowd, that could not only make you worse in the ring, but it could also make you not as lethal as you're supposed to be inside the ring. So there's give and take on this one, Reed. So
Okay,
let me
I can
let
agree
me
with that.
let me ask you, as his manager, part of your job is to make sure your client is to be ready for his big matches, but to get him booked in the best matches possible. Do you honestly think that you're going to be able to get Dalton booked uh, to be back at the top of the mountain in C1W, to be in that championship caliber?
Do I think I can get Dalton to the top of the mountain. Listen, watch my client, Dalton Blake, this Saturday, April 27th at the C1W Arena. He's going to be taking on a young, athletic up and comer known as Xavier Gray, who is also a former number one contender. And I want you to watch. I want you to watch as Dalton beats the wild out of that child. And then
Mm,
ask yourself that question.
mm. That's very, very interesting that you say that just like that. So, speaking of Xavier Gray, we do have to talk not only since you brought this up, we're going to have to ask this question and be brought up. You know, we saw him in that street fight. We saw how lethal he can be. Do you think Dalton Blake is ready for that lethalness that's going to be coming from Xavier Gray?
You know, I believe he will. And the reason I believe that is because do you remember when he had a street fight? No, it was an I Quit match with Race Still.
I do
And
remember
when
that.
that I Quit match, his aggression, I seen so much in Dalton at that moment. And his aggression. When that match was over, I was right there in the front row and watched that man rip Race's tooth right out of his head. And I stood there and applauded him. And I know
Mm.
he was getting his up and comings back on Race, but that aggression that I seen in him, that was just the tip of the iceberg.
That was just the tip of the iceberg, as you say. So, as we know, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties right now with Facebook. It will be coming live here shortly on Facebook. Also, those of you joining on YouTube, it should be live right now on YouTube. We have the Ravishing Reed with us here, who is Dalton Blake's manager, the Demented Dalton Blake, the professor of pain himself, the king of C1W, as they like to say, is with us. So, I have to ask you, sir. You know, you're trying to get it booked in all these big matches. You're trying to make sure that Dalton is staying on top, that you're able to keep going with the busy schedule that he's got. I mean, I see the new bow tie. I mean, I can see that new bow tie you got around your neck there. He's been buying it for you. He's been keeping you in stylish fashion there, Reed. Is that the main reason that you're with the Demented Dalton Blake himself? Is for all the perks and the benefits that come with being the $1 million man's sidekick?
Now, the perks and the benefits are very beneficial and they are nice. And some of them are extravagant. And some of the gifts I can't even talk about on open air. I mean, just let your mind go wild. But like I said, I seen something in Dalton and I think I can bring more of it out in him. I think
Ab-
I can make him tap into something that's a little more deeper, a little more darker, a little more demented, a little more diabolical. I think I can bring it out. I really
I
do.
ab- I absolutely hope that you're right. I absolutely hope in the days that come that we'll get to see that ruthless side of Dalton Blake come out a little bit more, especially with you in his corner all the time with him. I know that for a fact, for an absolute fact, that Dalton Blake is a lethal man. I know that he can be lethal, but I do believe with having somebody with your caliber, Ravishing Reed, in his corner, as good looking as you are, and as much of a heartthrob as you are for all the ladies, that he's going to be bringing a lot more attention out to himself. Not only the attention that he's going to be getting just by having you at his side, but the attention that he brings inside the ring. Now, something that he's been known for is talking to himself outside of the ring. And now that he's got a manager, he's got somebody to talk to. He doesn't have to go to the wall anymore. He doesn't have to go to the post anymore. He doesn't have to go out there and do anything else anymore. But I'm telling you, he's got to be out there. Guys, I do apologize about it not being on Facebook Live. It's showing that it is live currently. It said that the data is sending, but it's not streaming to Facebook. Let me see if I can reconnect it and get it out there for you guys. I'm so sorry about that. But as we know, as we see, you know, I know that you're going to be the one that's going to be bringing him directly to and through for this. So in the days to come, do you think that Dalton Blake and yourself are going to be able to be at the top of the mountain. And who do you want to challenge first? Who would you challenge first, Reed, directly, if you had the opportunity to say anybody in C1W, anybody that we're coming for you, who's it going to be?
Well, obviously, it'd be Xavier Gray, and that's happening this weekend.
Xavier Gray, and it's going to be this weekend. That's going to be your absolute first choice, 100%.
That would.
Well, Xavier Gray, if you're listening to this podcast right now, and then you know that the Ravishing Reed has made his challenge known to you, and we know that there's going to be a match this Saturday, April 27th at C1W Arena with none other than the Demented Dalton Blake and yourself. And we hope to have a retort between now and then before you to let you know, guys, what's going to be happening there. And as you see directly, guys, I know Ravishing Reed, your time is valuable. It's very important to you. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to get your client on this show tonight at some point in time. Hopefully he'll be here. And I want to know if you're going to be with him when he comes.
Hopefully. But he is a very busy man.
He is. He is. The man with $1 million smile, as they say, the man who can buy anything. Money's not an option for him. I've got to ask, how many matches is he paying off? How much did he pay you to pay some of these matches off?
Well, nobody's paid off any matches. Nobody's paid off any matches that I'm aware of. And as far as how much he pays me, that's between him and I. I'll keep that under the books because some of it is by check and then some of it is under the table. So we don't like taxes.
Nobody likes taxes. It's not just you, Reed. It's not just the Demented Dalton Blake. Nobody themselves likes taxes. And we gotta know. For this Saturday, you're gonna be facing Xavier Gray one-on-one there, and you with Dalton Blake at his ringside. What are you gonna be doing to help Dalton get over?
Well, I'm going to let his work speak for itself. And I'm just going to keep an eye out and watch his back to make sure that nobody comes from the locker room and tries to sneak up on him. If people start booing him, they can boo him. They paid their money. If they start cheering him, they can cheer him. They paid their money. If they want to tell him that he sucks, they paid their money. They can do that. That's fine with me. But once we get there and we come out and I'm out around that ring, I don't know what I'm going to do. Sometimes I'm Mr. Nice Guy and then sometimes I'm not. But I do.
The multiple personalities of the Ravishing Reed.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And sometimes I'll let certain ones take over when they need to.
Just like your client, the Demented Dalton Blake.
Yeah.
That's very smart. Yeah. Very, very smart. I believe he's here. I believe he's trying to come through. He's buzzing me. Let's check and see if the old Demented Dalton Blake is here. Mr. Dalton Blake, thank you for coming to the show. How are you doing today?
Better than everybody else. How about you?
I'm doing wonderful.
I don't care.
All right.
Reed, my sugar baby, what's going on, boo?
What's going down, Daddy Dalton? How are you doing tonight?
Good, brother. Just trying to make some money.
Yes, sir.
Just trying to make some money. I thought you had all the money in the world, Dalton.
You can never have enough money. It does not matter.
And Joseph,
hey, while I've got you here, let me do something for you guys. I wanted to go ahead and plug something that I've been working on. I just wanted to show you. Let me see if I can figure out how to switch this camera around. Let's see here.
Settings wheel. Oh, there he goes. He shall be back, though. I do promise you. He will be coming back.
There's an interesting thing that he said. He's sitting there trying to make money. And people like myself and Dalton can sit on our couches and make money while we're sitting here.
Well, the thing about it is if you're working in the business, you never have a time to relax. You're always trying to make money. Dalton Blake, I do believe you're back.
I'm back. I finally got it figured out. All right, so what I wanted to show you guys is if you guys are there to this Saturday at 1:30 McDonald School Road at Championship One Wrestling, you can pick up these limited edition I Ended Battle Streak.
Oh, come on, Dalton.
Blake. We've only got maybe 20 of them available. We're going to sell them at $20 a piece. Go ahead and get them. We're not going to make any more than this because I don't need the money. So go ahead and get them when you can.
Come on, Dalton. Now, last week you promised that you were going to beat Christopher Battle fair and square in that ring, and that didn't happen. And everybody who was there saw it, Dalton.
What do you mean? I won. I walked out. I walked out as the victor.
You walked out, but there was something else that happened during that match that did not give you the victory. It actually gave Christopher Battle the victory. Oh, you're going to play stupid now, Dalton?
Were we at the same 1:30 McDonald School Road?
Absolutely, we were. How much did you pay that little man known as the Rabid Reject to come and get involved in that match?
I didn't pay him a thing. That he's stepping boundaries where he doesn't need to be going anyways. Battle was all mine, and he crossed that line, and I respect him, but there's going to be consequences for that. My focus was on Battle that night, and he took the focus out of me. I'm still selling those T-shirts though.
You can sell whatever you want, but the record shows that you have a loss there. The official record shows that you have a loss there against Christopher Battle for the interference with the Rabid Reject.
No, that does not count. That does not matter.
It does.
That was my victory. No, that was my victory.
I mean,
he wasn't pinned. He didn't submit.
See? Do you see what you just made me do?
I didn't make you do anything, Dalton. You
Look
did it
what
yourself.
You've done. You did that.
Well, anyway, I'm glad that we've mentioned the Rabid Reject, and we've mentioned the way that you won in such a nonchalant, unfair manner, and then trying to brag about it like you broke the streak of Christopher Battle. My God, how much did you pay him, Dalton, to interfere with you? I mean, how much was it?
I didn't pay that man anything. I want you to realize this iPad right here, it means nothing to me. I've got plenty more. I have more. Look, I've got plenty of iPads to go through. I even put a case on this one, but I still broke it. I've got tons of iPads to go through. Money, I want you guys to realize money is not an option to me. I don't care. I can make it. I will make it. As far as Adrian Ace, I'm not worried about it. That's just what they call him, a small fish in a big pond, just like Battle. He's an even smaller fish in the same size kind of pond.
Now, I agree with you. I believe that Christopher Battle ran his mouth a little bit.
No, you're
much.
right.
He bit off a little
Battle.
bit more than he could choose. You know, more than he could choose there. I mean, I absolutely agree with you that he did that with Adrian Ace, and that the circumstances were called for. But I believe that there was something else that was going on behind the scenes that made him get involved in that match. It just wasn't a message to Christopher Battle, Dalton. And everybody in C1W knows it. All the fans know it. That the people in charge know it. Matter of fact, the fans have been begging me to find out how much money you had to pay Adrian Ace to do that. So, I mean, you can sit here and play your stupid little games all you want, but the truth is, we all know, and everybody knows, that you had a price and you paid it just so that you could get that little chip up on your shoulder to say that you had something that you absolutely do not have. Period. Plain and simple.
The whole reason behind Christopher Battle's thinking is that he needs that Mix 104.1 championship to mean something.
He does.
That's where I'm different. I don't need a title to be Dalton Blake. Dalton Blake is a man-made man. Wherever I go, money flows. I want to go back. Let me try to get on one of these iPads again. I want to go back and let's talk about something for a second. Because I want you to realize like I said, where I go, the money flows. Your last podcast we did last week, where I was on there, and it's been a hot minute since I've been on there, correct?
That's correct.
The last time I was on there, we pulled a total of 185 comments, 37 shares, and 1.1 thousand plays. Do any of your other guests pull numbers like that?
Gabe Walters does. So, I mean, you got to say what you can. The man is money. Gabe Walters is money. Each and every time that he's on the show, Dalton, he's money. And he is guaranteed to bring money and bring a crowd.
Right. Like I said, I respect him. But how many times has he been on that podcast and pulled those kind of numbers? And it took me one try to pull that number.
That's a very good point, Dalton. Now, that's a very good point. He's been on the podcast a total of 3 times, and 2 out of those 3 times he pulled those numbers directly that you're quoting. Now, you did come back on. This is the second podcast this will be the 3rd one today that you've been on. But the second one was the money shot for you. You were money directly on it, and you played it off great. I was actually talking with one of my friends about the podcast directly about a week ago, and he came out and said that you were a stroke of genius driving back from Atlanta. So I have to give you credit where credit's due. You got to give the devil credit where credit's due. But, we've got more fish to fry than just stroking your ego and making you feel good, Dalton.
Well, let's what kind of questions you got for me this time? You better hurry. My head's hurting. I got Reed on his way to give me some aspirin.
So with your new manager, the Ravaging Reed at your side, do you feel if he's going to get you the matches that you deserve?
I don't even understand why that's a question. There's a reason that I chose Reed. First of all, have you seen the way
it was pity?
Dresses? That was not pity.
It was a pity pick.
I put him up against you in a shut-up contest, and he dominated.
I am not in the least bit jealous that you picked him because I can hold my own any day of the week. I'm glad you picked him. I'm glad he's a part of the show, Dalton. I'm glad that you made sure that he's taking care of you. But you've neutered the man. You gave him cards at the freaking last show so that he could read your promo that you wrote for him. You didn't even let him read the promo that he needed. Didn't give him the promo that he needed.
He's not perfect like me yet. It takes time.
Perfect.
It takes time to get the way I am right now. I have to lead him, and I have to mentor him and teach him and show him the correct way to do things. Even though he said the wrong words and he misspelled a couple of things. I didn't misspell them. Reed misspelled. Hey, Reed. But Reed is one of the greatest managers, and he's only been doing it for like 2 weeks now, 1 week. Right. I mean, to sit there while Reed was off of this podcast and disrespect him like that deserves an apology. I want you, Reed, whenever we get on this podcast, I want you to go back and listen to this podcast and see what this man said about you.
I told him it was pity. I told him that's why he picked you.
You said pity. You said I neutered him.
You did neuter him. You gave him cards to read. Don't
get nowhere down there. I didn't even touch that area.
Are you serious? You can't cut cut a promo without you writing it for him?
No. Listen, it takes time. Man, I am looking good. It takes time to get to the level that I'm.
You look like a homeless ninja. Is what you look like.
I ain't no homeless ninja.
Definitely a homeless ninja. So Dalton, I mean, what's next for you? What's next for the Professor of Pain, the Demented Dalton Blake? Who's on your target list? I mean, what are we going to be doing here?
Well, as C1W posted this week, after coming off his horrible, disgusting, tasteful loss against Cameron Cox, Xavier Gray will be my next opponent this Saturday coming up.
Look who just joined. It's a lovely Miss Danielle.
Oh, my goodness. And the numbers start going down now.
No, Dalton. Dalton, she's more money than you are or ever could be. I mean, have you checked her views this week just from the slap that was heard around the world? Did you even know what happened there?
Hey, let's do something first. Can you put her under you and so I can get the full screen because you're cutting off my forehead?
Well, it's all forehead.
It's all forehead, she says. Let's see if we can switch orientation here. Absolutely not. It's actually not going to let me do it, Dalton.
It doesn't want to.
No, that's good enough.
We're going to get equal time here.
Whatever. Did you ask me a question? Oh, you asked me.
Yes.
I've got Xavier Gray this week, little mama's boy. Danielle, we've known each other for a hot minute, like what, 9 years or so?
Yeah.
I've seen that kid when he was, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9, I'd say. whenever he gets off that tit Friday night into Saturday morning and you tuck him into bed, hold him tight. That's all I'm going to say. Because it's going to hurt you more than it's going to hurt me.
I don't think so. Because I can hurt you in the wallet.
Ooh.
Don't touch my wallet.
Dalton, it sounds like she's got something definitely out for you there. You know, I've got to admit there, if you're going to be making threats like that, then she has every right not only to defend and also threaten and take care of herself and take care of her business against you. But that wallet thing is a really good thing, especially since I thought money was no object to you.
It's not, but I don't want to lose any to begin with. Who wants to lose money? You can wreck
Dalton,
my Tesla. You can wreck the
afford
Porsche.
it, Dalton.
You can wreck the Lamborghini. You can wreck the bikes, but don't touch my wallet.
Dalton, you can afford to lose a little bit of money and weight, just to be honest with you. You're looking a little fat these days, buddy. Are you feeling okay? You've been eating too good. You've been sending all that creme de la creme and prime rib down the way over to Ravishing Reed too. Y'all been having those meals in Atlanta, eating caviar.
He did not just go there.
I did go there.
You've got. Reed, take this one from me. Take this one from me, Reed.
Man, I enjoy food, but like Joseph has plenty of room to talk. He's not so skinny himself.
I'm not. You're absolutely right. I love food myself, and I will devour anything that most people will put in front of me, because I learned a long time ago that if somebody puts something in front of you, it's coming from their heart most of the time, and to be grateful for it, because you never know where your next meal is going to be coming from. So I have eaten my own fair share, and I am a fat butt. I'm trying to keep it PG here for you guys. I am a fat butt myself.
It's a PG show.
It should be a PG show. Should be a PG show. Dalton, how's it a PG show when you're paying people off, paying hitmen off, Dalton, to do things for you?
Wait. Enough with these questions. I've heard enough of this hot garbage you've been spewing, Joseph D. Hughes. What's the D stand for anyway? Despicable? I'm out.
Well, have a good night, sir.
Your manager left you high and dry, Dalton.
High and dry, Dalton.
He's got to go pick up some sushi. I'm getting hungry.
Well, I mean, the truth of it is, Dalton, is he's running away. I guess he didn't want to have to hear what Miss Danielle had to say about what's going to be happening, what's going to be taking place. And
I don't think any of us want to hear what Mrs. Danielle has to say about whatever.
Oh, that's definitely not the truth. The Championship One Wrestling fans on the fan page this week have been chattering back and forth all this week about what happened with her, what happened with Kevin. And that's going to bring me to you, Miss Danielle. So let's just start. I guess they had a problem with a woman being in charge here. Welcome back to the show, first and foremost. Thank you for being here, Miss Danielle. In recent weeks, you've come out to the show and you've shown what stroke you hold with the company. What is it like having to keep that egomaniac Kevin under control?
It's a full-time job in and of itself.
Oh, absolutely. I can only imagine, especially if he's that way at work. What's he like at home?
Yeah, believe it or not, before we came back to wrestling, he wasn't like that. But when we got back into wrestling, it's like his ego just went out of control. So I had to step in. I couldn't sit on the sidelines and watch him, do what he was doing. So, definitely needed a change at C1W, and I'm going to be that change.
Absolutely. And I absolutely believe that you're going to be the right change that's for C1W, especially after seeing everything that's taken place. We were talking about the slap heard around the world earlier. We got so many views on that from so many different platforms that you have piqued the interest of each and every one of the C1W fans, new fans too, by the way, children as well, by the way, that have seen that, and they're looking up to you, Miss Danielle. They're seeing you as somebody that they would like to be one day. How does that make you feel?
I mean, I don't condone violence, first of all, for the kids.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, somebody had to do something. He can't just do whatever he wants to do.
Well, that's absolutely great. So I'm glad that you brought that up. See, because under Kevin's control, there's been a lot of favoritism that's going to be going on. So how is it that, after that slap, we can see that there's a new sheriff in town that has a backbone? Is it going to be putting up with favoritism? And if so, how do you plan on keeping it that way since you are that new sheriff?
Yeah, it's definitely my town now, Dalton Blake. And favoritism is always a bad thing, especially when you are a tyrant boss like my husband, Kevin. I've always been the type to put, personal feelings aside and stick to business. I have some things in the works that will take a while to work the kinks out on. So all I can say is, stay tuned.
Absolutely, 100%. That's great. The C1W has asked me to ask you this question, Miss Danielle. What possessed you to slap Kevin like the way you did?
I don't really know. We've been married almost 20 years. So maybe it was that. Maybe it was the chaos happening all around me. Maybe it was the fact that my son was in the ring on his stomach screaming in pain. I don't know. Honestly, it was just a lot of things. Him attacking our son every week, verbally and physically. And then, to hear him tell me it was all on me, it was not all my fault. I don't know.
Well, it always takes two, right? So parental control is done by two if you have two good parents, really, to be honest with you. And both of them have to be in control to some extent. So both of you had to give consent at some point in time. So it's definitely not all on you. It's definitely on him too. He has 50% of that he's in control of. And, to sit there and in the previous weeks for him to come out and call his son no good, worthless, garbage, that he's just said so much stuff
I think he got it mixed up with Dalton. I think he
absolutely
was talking about Dalton.
Everything that Kevin said was 100% true. Piece of garbage, son.
How can you say that, Dalton? How can you say that his son is a piece of garbage? He's only trying to do what's right for himself, what's right for the business.
Kevin's son is not a piece of garbage. I'm talking about Danielle's son.
It's the same son. What planet are you living in, Dalton?
Oh, Xavier is Danielle's son.
No. They're the same person. Xavier is Danielle's and Kevin's son. Biologically, if they were to take a test, it would show that he has both X and Y chromosomes from both parents. Did you skip biology day or something, Dalton? You just gonna go out on me?
He didn't freeze. He's acting.
I know he is. He's
very
upset.
badly.
My goodness. I mean, he's called him everything, though. He's called him everything under the sun other than a good son. He's proud of him. He hasn't even told him he's proud of him. I mean, he's trying his hardest. It's not to get daddy's love. It's to make a name for himself. I understand that, but he's definitely doing it to a certain degree for the notification and just for dad to come out and say, you know what, you've done enough in this business that I'm proud of. Absolutely enough.
I can only imagine.
So, I mean, we have to sit here and put this out here. So the fourth question I have for you is, in the days to come, what can we see from the HBIC, Miss Danielle Gray?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, there are some things in motion that I can't mention yet. But the fans will be very, very pleased. But, they just have to stay with me, believe in me, and a change is going to come.
Very interesting. I definitely believe that, Miss Danielle. I think it's going to be a great change to see at Championship One Wrestling. Miss Danielle, do you guys have any merchandise, anything available that you guys are going to be selling at the shows as well?
Oh, yeah. We always have our Championship One shirts. which come with the C1W Club for $20. You get the T-shirt, a signed photograph, a free ticket to the next show, and we do special deals and stuff. Sometimes if you wear your shirt, we have stickers, we have temporary tattoos, we have koozies, we have tumblers. What else? We have all kinds of stuff.
Streamers?
Of course,
you guys got streamers?
Streamers. And the tickets are $8 at the door. 50 cents if you pay for a card. If you do Cash App, there's no extra charge. And we have full concessions. And as always, I have to plug my son. We have Xavier Gray merchandise. We have stickers.
Oh my goodness.
We have T-shirts.
I think those, Danielle, will sell a lot better than that I Beat Christopher Battle crap that Dalton Blake's going to be selling this week.
Those were some good shirts.
Some good shirts. They're lies. Nothing but lies straight on the shirt. You didn't beat Christopher Battle.
No, yes. After that spear, the room went black. The referee held my hand up.
The referee did not hold your hand up.
No. If I remember it correctly, Christopher Battles had you in a hold when the lights went out.
And then somebody that we shall not name entered with a spike and hit Christopher Battle right in the head with it. Did he not? And then by the time that the ref was raising hands, I believe it was Christopher Battle's hand that was getting raised. You can sell all those lies you want. You can sell them for $20 a piece, $10 a piece, $5 a piece. It doesn't matter. A lie is a lie is a lie is a lie, Dalton.
Me and Reed were already back in the Tesla leaving before whatever happened with Battle. And Battle got everything that he deserved. I want you guys to realize that. This whole little thing that when I was talking last week, that I'm sending a message to Battle, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
So you did pay Adrian Ace to do
that?
No,
I didn't pay Adrian Ace.
Sounds like you did.
Sounds like you did. A lot. Dalton, I mean, you can't have it both ways, guys. I mean, even the genius Steve over here knows. And he's a dummy. He knows that you did this. I mean, come on.
I did pay Battle. What's the worst that if I did pay Adrian Ace, I apologize. If I did pay Adrian Ace to take care of Christopher Battle for me, what's the worst that could have happened? No repercussions for the actions on my fault.
Well, for one, you could have injured him to the point that he could have no longer been in competition. That's number one.
That was the plan.
Of course it was, Dalton, but still, you don't think of your repercussions. Then what happens to Championship One Wrestling if you do injure him to that point? That becomes a workplace environment hazard. So you know what happens?
What's going to happen to Championship One Wrestling? The same thing that happens if Danielle Gray takes away C1W from Kevin. It's going in the trash, and they're going to be shut down just like every other promotion that ran through there.
I don't know. So, I think this past week was a pretty good show.
So what I'm hearing, Dalton, is that you're going to tuck your tail between your legs and run away if Danielle Gray becomes in charge because you don't want to listen to a woman.
I don't have to worry about tugging my tail between my legs. Reed's got a hold of my tail, and he's going to tug my tail.
Somebody's going to have to tug your tail, whatever you just said, Dalton.
I mean, he's my manager. That's what he does for me.
He tugs your tail.
He holds onto your tail. He tags it. He wags it in between your legs. That is not a good look for you, Dalton.
On a serious note, though, Christopher Battle is going to be out this week because of your little stunt.
I'm glad that you mentioned that.
Keep him out for the next 2 weeks, the next 6 weeks, 6 months, a year. Keep him away because when he comes back, it's going to be. I don't even know how to put this. You thought Xavier Gray had a hard time with Cameron. I'm going to give Battle a harder one.
Well, see, that's very interesting that you mentioned that. See, remember last week that you were on this show and we were talking about something called the 1,000-yard stare, right? We were talking about that 100%, that little stare that you're trying to give me right now, that 1,000-yard stare. See, you might have started a battle with Christopher Battle, but I guarantee Christopher Battle will win this war. He'll win it against you and Adrian Ace. The determination factor, something that you don't realize is that they put something in you called leadership. LDR-SHIP, leadership is what they put in you. That LDR has everything to do with it. Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honesty, integrity, and personal courage. Those are the things that they instill in you once you become a veteran. Once you become a member of the armed services, whatever. And he's got that, sir. He's got that leadership quality. He's got that leadership ability. And I'm going to promise you right now, I'll promise you in front of the world, and I will back my promises up, and I will eat them if I'm wrong, that he's going to come back with vengeance, and there will really be true hell to pay, Dalton, for the actions that you pulled.
This whole talk about a battle and a war, what is it with you guys? It's just stupid sayings to get the crowd hot. Christopher Battle uses that. Tater Tot Taylor uses that in his little entrance. You want a battle? Here's a war, or something like that. Look where I left them laying.
You didn't leave them laying anywhere. Your hitman left them laying somewhere. I mean, Dalton, if you're going to apples to apples, baby, let's just talk about it. Apples to apples. If we want to tell the truth, you were crying in the corner somewhere, about to tap out. Am I telling the truth, Danielle?
When?
Saturday. And then you let your little shenanigans take place, and guess what happened? Christopher Battle still won the match. You still lost.
No. You're looking at it from the wrong perspective. Let's take away the last half of that match. If you go back and watch the rest of that match, I dominated that match. I took Christopher Battle to town. I took him to school and taught him a lesson.
If you consider crying on the mat, winning, and taking somebody to school,
I didn't shed one single tear that night.
You didn't.
No.
Yes, you did. You even went out of the ring towards the ring post by the gorilla curtain and cried for about 2 or 3 minutes. What do you got to say about that? It's on video. We got video evidence, Dalton.
Hey, my screen's not working. Give me a second.
Of course it's not. You're going to go cry in your little corner now, aren't you?
I'm not going to be crying. I wish nobody realizes that I don't care. People want the yays and the cheers, or they want the boos. I don't need the respect of those fans. I don't need the respect of Christopher Battle. I don't need the respect of Matt Tater Tot Taylor. I don't need the respect of Race. I don't need the respect of Danielle Gray. The only person.
Wait a minute. For 3 weeks, you have cried for nothing but the respect of Race Steele. How you look up there, Race. Remember this speech? Look up there on the wall, Race. You see that? We were the greatest tag team champions of all time.
Ooh, and that was not me trying to get the respect. That was me trying to teach Race a lesson of what we had. Like I said,
how to cry about the good old days, Dalton?
But it wasn't my fault the good old days ended.
I mean,
not the one that
you were a tag team, right?
Race.
This goes back to custody, right? Your tag team, there's a 50%.
I don't want to talk about no more custody. Look at these two. I don't want to talk about any more of
that. Of course not. So here's the thing, man. You started crying about Race a couple weeks ago. You started bringing that up, and now you're acting like it never even happened, like you never even grovel about it. You live in that world. That's what made you who you were. If you don't remember, that's how you turned into the Demented Dalton Blake, right?
Yes. But I would not need to be this way. I would not need to be the hated one if it wasn't for Race. Race started my downward spiral. And then when AMJ came in and thought that he could be the greatest man in C1W history and just become my tag team partner and me hand over that championship to him, he was dead wrong.
You chose him.
You chose him, right? Absolutely. That's your choice.
Well, I didn't have anybody else. I tried everybody else, but he was the only one that I could manipulate because he had the muscles to destroy everybody while I sat in that corner. That's the psychology in me. That's the way I abused and mistreated him.
I don't know what to say about that, Dalton, to be honest with you. I mean, the truth of it is not only did you pick the man, not only did you have him in your corner, not only did you have him by your side, but you have to take responsibility at some point in time for the breakup that you had with him. It not only was just what happened with Ray Steele, why he didn't show up. I mean, did you not steal his finisher move at one point in time? Did you not take that away from him?
I didn't steal a thing. Where did Race take it from? Is Race the one that invented the spine buster?
No. I think not. But you knew that was his move.
It doesn't matter. A move is a move. If
that is not true, and you know it.
For 3 seconds, I'm going to use it.
That's not true. You absolutely know that. You can steal whatever you want to steal. You do whatever you want to do inside the ring. But common courtesy and respect for other wrestlers tells you that you don't take somebody else's pop. You don't take their move. You don't take their finisher unless it's been given to you or you have permission to do so. Did you have permission to take it that night?
I didn't need permission. We were a tag team partner. We were tag team partners. We were one person. Therefore, that got transferred with the ownership. Exactly. So that's Samantha. I thought that was Kevin. Ravish and Reed. Oh, wow. Listen. Just so we're in the clear. The spine buster is mine. Race uses it. Race borrows it from me now. And Saturday, I'm going to give old Xavier the taste of defeat or whatever he wants to call it. And next time, whenever I get a chance to go up against AMJ, I'm going to take his power slam. And I'm going to use it too. And who's going to say a thing about it? Nobody.
I will. I'll say something about it, you move thief. I'll say it right here to your face. I don't have a problem doing it. So
I think Dalton is going to have a harder time with Xavier than he thinks.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with you.
Because Xavier's been doing this a lot longer than you. Maybe not in the ring, but he's been around it way longer than you, Dalton.
You do realize that Xavier's like 45 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
It's not all muscle and strength.
Hey, buddy, it's never about the size of the dog. It's about the size of the fight inside of the dog. And that's what you're forgetting here, is there's been bigger men than you. Hey, do you remember a little man named Spike Dudley? Just out of the blue. You remember Spike?
I do, yeah.
I was about to say, he might be too young for that.
All right. Well, do you remember how Spike Dudley made it? Not only did he take big bumps, but he won some pretty darn big matches too, right? A little pipsqueak winning big matches. What about Hornswoggle? You remember Hornswoggle?
I do, yeah.
All right, Hornswoggle beat some pretty giant people, didn't he?
Sure, yeah. Where are you going with this?
Well, this is just like David and Goliath, baby. Xavier has something to prove to you, especially after that match that he had on Saturday, that street fight. And trust me, he's got a big dog with some big fight in him. So you better bring your A game, Dalton, because if you don't, Xavier's going to eat your lunch.
Are we talking about the same Xavier?
Absolutely, we are. We are.
All right, let's just go ahead and settle this. So you guys, let's go ahead and give away the spoilers and stuff for Saturday night. If Xavier pins me this Saturday night, I will allow him to personally take money from my pocket and pass out to the crowd. And I'm not talking about funny money. Let's just get that out of the way. I'm talking about cold, hard cash. Take it to the vending machine, get you a soda pop kind of cash.
Oh, so you only want to give him a few dollars, not none of that rich man money. I see how it is.
He's not getting my 10s, 5s, 20s, and 100s. I can get.
Come on, Dalton. If the man beats you 1, 2, 3 in the ring, why don't we just say it? Why don't we make it for $10,000? If he beats you in the ring, give Xavier $10,000.
10 grand.
10 grand, baby. Let him get started in this business the right way.
Do you know what would happen if anybody at C1W, especially the fans, knew that I was carrying around 10 grand in cash? They would rob me and take me for everything and sell and go buy them some methamphetamines with it. I'm not carrying around $10,000 in cash.
At the 1-year anniversary show, you gave out almost 20 grand.
Well, that was an anniversary show. There was Enzo Amore was there, the real one. I had to show off. I had to let him know.
You had to let Enzo know.
Yes.
You weren't trying to impress the big crowd that was there. You just wanted to let Enzo know that you had the money.
I'm not worried about that crowd. You see, when I walk out there, I don't want to interact with that crowd. That's because I'm not focused on that crowd. I'm focused on my opponent.
Hey, Daniel, I think we should make it official, baby. I think we should do it. I think that if Dalton loses, the stipulation should be $10,000 to Xavier Gray.
If Dalton gets pinned by Xavier.
1, 2, 3 in the center of the ring.
Danielle?
I mean that sounds like a good idea. I mean, could even be ringside for that.
I think I would be ringside for that. Good Lord, that sounds wonderful to me.
No, you're not getting my money.
I was the South Boston Hit Squad manager, so I know some tricks.
But look who I've got now. I've got Ravishing Reed. There's nothing on the South Boston Hit Squad.
Are you kidding me?
Look at the man. Look at the way he dresses.
It doesn't matter, Dalton. If you get pinned 1, 2, 3 in the center of the ring, it doesn't matter how much money that you spend on Ravishing Reed. You're going to be having to give that young gentleman, the Xavier Gray from Alpha Flight, 10 grand, baby.
I mean, that's college fund right there.
That's absolutely
some of it.
But listen,
you're a philanthropist,
he
right?
pins me 1, 2, 3. I will let him take the money out of my pockets or even Reed's pockets if he's carrying half of it, and he can toss it out to the crowd.
Come on. You're going to be carrying fake chocolate money in your pockets. We know how you think, Dalton Blake.
Money.
You do.
Melt.
Do you remember what you did for Easter to everybody that was in the crowd Easter Sunday?
Oh, that was so great. But listen, what I was trying to say.
You tricked everybody. You didn't even give them candy. You gave them empty freaking gigs, Dalton.
That's a long walk from the entrance to the ring. I was getting a little hungry.
Long walk. You're getting hungry. The 20 feet it took you to get from the gorilla curtain to the ring. Come on, Dalton.
Stop laughing at me.
I don't believe that. Not for 1 minute. That was so funny. I'm sorry. I couldn't hold it back, Dalton.
Disrespectful. If he pins me, but listen, here's the stipulation. Give the money. That entire match, he cannot touch the man bun.
No.
Shoot. Are you kidding, Dalton?
That little bitty man bun.
That itty bitty little tiny little man bun, that Bruce Leroy man bun you got. What's
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Okay, I'm back now. Don't make fun of my man bun.
What's ridiculous, Dalton, is the fact that you have the ability to change this kid's life and for the better, and you're not even willing to put him over. You're not even willing to try to help this kid in any sort of way. Now, I'm not saying make him, just give it away to him. What I'm saying is he has to earn it. But if he pins you 1, 2, 3, you don't even want to do that.
His mommy and daddy own Championship One Wrestling.
Why? Why do they own Championship One Wrestling?
We're not going to talk about that.
Why?
We don't bring up the past on this podcast.
That's all we've been talking about for the last hour. Is the past?
Are
you kidding me?
No. I'm just trying to give you. I'm not reliving the past. I'm just going through my backstory of how I became this way.
Your backstory. That's what we're gonna go with. That's what you're gonna say. Steve even is calling bull crap on that. He just told me. He just whispered.
You've got to be kidding me, right?
Does it look like Steve is kidding? Look at this face.
Yes, it does. He hasn't moved since we've been on here for 57
Look at that mouth. He dropped his mouth.
Minute.
He's dropped his mouth. He knows you're full of crap.
He's been astonished since he saw me on this screen. He's not moved a single minute.
Astonished.
Stupid. Golly.
Dalton, plain and simple though, you have to admit that this match is not going to be an easy match for you. And with the threats that you've made, you're definitely hyping up Xavier Gray. You're hyping him up for this match Saturday, April 27th at Championship One Wrestling, 130 McDonald School Road, McDonald, Tennessee. Now, you guys have to know right now, the stipulation, is it set in motion, Danielle? Are we going to do it?
Yeah, I say so.
I think we've got a match made. He pins you 1, 2, 3, 10 grand, Dalton. You will be losing. And I will be there front row to make sure and see that you lose that. I will be recording to make sure that you lose that. So put on a good show, Dalton.
Why is everybody against me? What have I done to you guys?
What haven't you done to us? You turned your back on the entire C1W universe, all the fans. Do you not remember that?
Yes, but who turned their back on me first? This all goes back to race, and I'm not living in the past. I just want to reiterate something. This all started because of race. He turned his back on me.
Dalton, do you remember this little thing we talked about earlier called leadership? The thing that we were talking about, Christopher Battle? There's a couple pieces in there: honesty and integrity and personal courage. Sometimes you might be faced with a hole and you don't know how the heck you're going to get out of that hole. You don't know where you're going to go, what you're going to do, but it takes honesty, integrity, and personal courage to face that hole to get out of it. What you did was cowardice. You turned your back on everybody who loved you, everybody who cared about you, everybody who had your best interest at heart. For what? For what, Dalton? For all the money in the world?
To come to the real life.
No, I can answer this one for him because he wanted to be a superstar.
He wanted to be a superstar, she says.
It gave me the reason to come to the realization that nobody cared. Nobody cared if I was a good guy or a bad guy. Nobody cared. They didn't want to see me succeed. They wanted to watch me fail.
Nobody wanted to see you fail. You got it in your head that they wanted to see you fail. Therefore, you changed who you were, what you were, and why you were. You remember the old changed. Hey ya? You remember that? Hey ya? That little tribute you used to do. You remember who you used to do that tribute to? Who else did that?
Race.
Who else? The bad guy used to do it. The real bad guy used to do it. No, not that bad guy. We're talking about hey chico, hey yo, it's me, Reza. You know who I'm talking about now?
Eddie Guerrero.
Eddie Guerrero, yeah, that's who we're talking about. Sure. No, we're talking about the one, the only Scott Hall. You remember taking that from him too? You not only stole the moves from everybody else, you stole his opening with throwing that stupid little pick at everybody.
In his life, I don't think he's going to care too much if I stole it or not.
Come on.
Oh, Dalton, that's rough, baby.
I haven't seen him on Facebook recently, so I don't know what he's been up to.
Kevin Natch watches this podcast, baby. He gets it every week. Like clockwork. I'm sure he's going to have something to say about that.
Kevin's at ringside every single week. Why would he not watch this podcast?
Kevin Nash, baby. Kevin Nash. Not that Kevin. Kevin Nash. He watches this podcast.
The good Kevin, not the bad Kevin.
Big Diesel. Toot, toot.
Oh, I didn't know his last name.
You didn't know his last name?
I just know it by KVN.
That was extremely disrespectful. And I'm pretty sure that he might have something to say about this. And if he does, Dalton, there might be hell to pay on that end too. You never know. What it comes down to, Dalton.
Kevin's got my back every week. Give him a little wink. He understands what I'm talking about. He knows the pain that I went through. So I don't think he's going to be worried about taking his toothpick out of my mouth or something.
You don't even believe the bull crap that's coming out of your mouth. That's why you had to go off screen just then.
My throat was hurting.
Your throat was hurting. Yeah. All right, Dalton. Really what it comes down to is this. Is Saturday, April 27th, you're going to be in a match with Xavier Gray. I'm going to give you one last chance to say whatever you need to say to Xavier. Get it off your chest. Get it out in the open. And we'll see you Saturday, Dalton.
Xavier, not Xavier. There's no Z. It's an X. Am I right, Danielle?
Yes, Xavier.
Xavier.
Okay. Just like the crowd likes to call race Reese. Okay, it's not Reese. It's race. It's not Xavier. It's Xavier. You can call him whatever you want. But this Saturday, on School Road, you better be ringside because after I'm done, you got two choices: Erlanger or Tenova. The only options that you've got. Because when your husband Kevin Nash starts walking up there and tries to stop you, we're gonna fight, and it's gonna be on sight. And I can guarantee you, hey y'all.
All right, Dalton. Miss Danielle, do you have anything that you would like to say to the Championship One Wrestling universe before we go?
I have a big announcement that even Dalton Blake doesn't know about. So in May, we will be having our big show on May 25th. The name of that show will be Mayhem in McDonald. And we're going to have the Youngbloods.
Very interesting. Dalton, what do you have to say about that?
I wish Danielle wasn't so monotone when she makes big announcements. That's why we don't like giving her the mic. I mean, golly. Listening to one of the parents on
Okay, how would you do it, Dalton Blake?
What day was it?
May 25th.
Ladies and gentlemen, May 25th, C1W presents Mayhem and McDonald. Mayhem and McDonald. 130 McDonald School Road featuring the Youngbloods and Kevin Nash. Hey, y'all. Watching.
Not Kevin Nash.
He can't even do it.
We are not promoting Kevin Nash. I do not want to get sued.
All right, Kevin Nash will not be there. For those of you watching, Kevin Nash will not be there. Now he does watch this podcast. He does talk.
Y'all need to get y'all story straight because I'm lost.
Yes,
you stay lost, Dalton. We know you're lost. You're at La La Land because you've been swimming in Scrooge McDuck's money this whole time.
I'm going to talk to Kevin about this.
Please do. Please talk to Kevin about it. What it comes down to, guys, is Saturday, April 27th. You guys got to be there. 130 McDonald School Road, McDonald, Tennessee is the place that each and every one of you want to be. Xavier Gray is going to be taking on none other than the Demented Dalton Blake in a stipulation match for $10,000. If Xavier pins Dalton Blake, Dalton will have to relinquish $10,000 to Xavier for that beautiful college fund or whatever he wants to use it for. So you guys,
a kid like that doesn't go to college. I promise. That kid like that does not go to college.
Come on, Dalton. How do you know?
Look at his mother.
Look at his father.
Yeah. I mean, it's 50-50.
I had a father
really.
like that. I could go anywhere that I wanted.
You could go anywhere that you wanted?
Did I stutter?
That's because you never had the love of a father, Dalton.
My father loved me.
Is that why you wanted to hug Kevin so bad at this show? Why you've got Ravishing Reed in your corner, trying to get the love of a father back?
Yes. Because I've got the father figure. I'm worried about the mother. My mother never even showed up to my own birth.
Well, I'll be your mother figure then. And next time you make a tantrum, I'll bend you over my knee and smack it.
She's going to slap the taste right out of your mouth the next time.
I only listen to Reed. Reed's the only one that bends me over.
I'm sure he is. Come on, Dalton. All right, on that note, we are going to end this show, guys. April 27th, you guys have to be there, 130 McDonald School Road, McDonald, Tennessee. Now, there is a couple things that's going to be going on there that we did not get a chance to mention. First of all, as of right now the card is subject to change. There's going to be a singles match between the Gabe Walter family member, TK Arden, the Killer, and Ray Steele is going to be taking place there. Also, the author of Brutality, none other than Adrian, is going to be taking on the Marvel Matt Taylor, accompanied by Casey Taylor to the ring. She's going to be in his corner as a valet. So you guys need to know that right up front there. We're also going to be holding a mixed tag team match right there, April 27th, Saturday, April 27th at McDonald's School Road, 130 McDonald's School Road. First ever that CYW is going to be having. It's going to be the team of the Rabid Reject, Adrian Ace and Mama Hannah, going to be taking on Robert Starr and Crystal Fire. Now, the last time that Crystal Fire and Mama Hannah met in this ring, Mama Hannah ended up leaving, tucking her tail in between her legs and walking out of the match. So Crystal Fire definitely is going to be ready for that rematch and ready for something to happen. And she's going to get that chance this Saturday, April 27th. Right there, 130 McDonald School Road, McDonald, Tennessee, for you guys. And I do believe that we have a debut happening, don't we, Miss Danielle?
We do. It'll be Bubba Kaiser.
Bubba Kaiser is going to be debuting for us directly right here as it comes forward. So we're definitely going to be wanting to see that as it comes out. And then don't forget the show that's going to be taking place the 25th of May, Mayhem and McDonald pay-per-view, 130 McDonald School Road, McDonald, Tennessee. It's going to be featuring the Young Bloods are going to be there, guys. So you guys want to be there. Mark it on your calendars. Have it down. Miss Danielle, how much are the tickets going to be for Mayhem and McDonald?
$8 still.
$8 at the door, guys. Kids 5 and under are always free, including this Saturday. You definitely want to bring each and everyone out. Bring your kids, bring your neighbors' kids, bring your grandkids, bring your great-grandkids, bring their friends, bring everybody out to the show. We'd love to have each and every one of you guys come out. It'd be a great time for you and your family. Now, as we mentioned before, Championship One Wrestling is a family-friendly event, so we would ask that you would refrain from extreme profanity inside the crowd. We'd also ask that you not only leave your extracurricular activities at home, like Mr. Dalton Blake's doing right now. You need to leave your drugs and alcohol at home. It will not be tolerated on Championship One Wrestling property there at Championship One Wrestling Arena. If you're caught with it, they will escort you off the property and trespass you from being on the property at all. So please just don't try it. Don't do it. Say no to drugs and have a great time and come out. Also, Championship One Wrestling will be having concessions starting between 7:40 and 7:45 and running the entirety of the show or until they're sold out. So if you're bringing your family, you can bring everybody and get them something good to snack on. I know that they have pizza and nachos and Powerade and Coke, and they've got lots of other stuff that I'm not mentioning here right here on the site. So it'd be a great place for you guys to come and bring the family. And definitely come out to see this man right here on the bottom of the screen, Mr. Dalton Blake, get his butt whipped by Xavier Gray the 27th, Saturday of April.
The nerve to ask me to come onto your podcast and then be rude to me like that?
That's not rude.
Talking down to me is very rude.
Dalton, when have you ever talked up to anybody?
Oh, my.
When have you ever talked up to anybody? When have you ever built somebody up? Can you say one nice thing about Ray Steele? Just one. One nice thing about Miss Danielle. You can't do it.
Race had a good manager.
You're talking about yourself, Dalton.
He had a good tag team partner too.
You're talking about yourself, Dalton. That's not saying nothing nice about Race. You got to say something nice about Race. Maybe he had the best spine buster in the business at one point in time.
Even I can say no to that one. Sorry.
I understand that, but it's just the principle of it. You got to say something nice about somebody sometimes.
I don't compliment. I don't compliment to you. I compliment behind your back, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
Don't ask me to elaborate on that one.
Oh, you don't have to elaborate. We got it perfectly, especially with how you're talking about old Ravishing Reed taking care of your tail earlier. We know exactly how you talk nice about people.
Listen, why do you always want to talk bad about Reed whenever he leaves?
Bring him back on
here. Oh, pull Reed. Yeah,
I'll talk to his face. I don't have a problem talking bad to his face.
Oh, then why? We've been on here for an hour and 12 minutes, and you haven't talked a good thing about him yet.
He left.
You kicked him out.
No, he couldn't handle that the HBIC came in.
He's outside my door right now sobbing because you did that to him. How
go
dare
cuddle
you
him.
disrespect somebody?
Go give him a hug. Give him some cuddlings. Give him a hug. Tell him you love him. Be that daddy figure that you never had.
Hey,
Let him
that's a
hold your
strong word.
tail.
Let him hold your tail, she says. That's right.
A man makes one error. I apologize for saying it that way. I didn't mean it that way.
We know you did. Well, anyway, guys, you have to be there. 130 McDonald School Road, McDonald, Tennessee. Right there, Saturday, April 27th is going to be the best place for you guys. It's going to be $8 at the door. They do have Cash App available. If you guys don't have cash on you, you can Cash App them directly at Championship One Wrestling at the door. If you guys are using a card, there's a 50-cent surcharge on all cards. So it'll be $8.50 for a card, $8 in cash, or you can Cash App them to $8 directly. So that's how you can pay to get in. We are going to love to see you guys Saturday, April 27th. Any last words for either of you?
No.
I say just come on out because this week is just going to be even better.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Miss Danielle. And we're going to love to see each and every one of you guys there. You guys are welcome to join us anytime that we're available at Championship One Wrestling. We would love to have you. And don't forget, Saturday's Wrestling Rewatch and Review will be taking place on Facebook Live and also on YouTube. I do apologize to my Facebook users here. I will repost this on Facebook as soon as the live stream is done from YouTube. I'll make sure that each and every one of you get a chance to watch this on Facebook Live. I'm having problems with the software not connecting to Facebook directly, so that's my fault tonight. But I will make sure.
Sounds like a personal issue. Yeah.
It definitely is.
Dalton, make sure you watch that rewatch Saturday so you can see what actually happened during.
No, I know you guys are technologically savvy and you can do that video editing stuff and you can make it look like I lost. But I know in my heart that ref. Who did we have ref? We had Randy Travis.
Randy Travis was wrestling.
Randy Travis knows that he raised my hand, and so do I. And if you guys don't want to believe it, I got 2 words for you. That's in the past. I don't do that anymore.
Have a good night, Dalton. You be safe, buddy.
All righty. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Miss Danielle, as always, it's been a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for coming on and sharing your knowledge and wealth that you've given to each and every one of the Championship One Wrestling fans about how they can purchase different things at the site there. Also being with us to talk to us. I appreciated you coming in and going back and forth with Dalton and myself. And I would love to have you come on the show again sometime if you're more than willing to.
Of course, anytime.
All right. Thank you so much. You have a great night, Miss Danielle.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, you guys heard it here first. You have to be there Saturday, April 27th. 130 McDonald School Road, McDonald, Tennessee is the place where you guys want to be. We're coming to you live tonight from the Cleveland Comic Book Studios in Cleveland, Tennessee. And I'm going to tell you guys, that's going to be the place where I'm going to be Saturday. I've also, like I mentioned earlier, Saturday, 10 a.m. on Facebook and also on YouTube. We're going to be doing the C1W Wrestling Rewatch and Review of that show that took place last week. And you're going to get to catch up on all the action right there. So come and join me Saturday, 10 a.m. right here, Wrestle Talk with the Rabid Beaver. Appreciate you guys. And I hope you have a wonderful night and you all be safe. Until the next time we meet, you all heard it here first. Thank you, guys.